When I first dipped my toes into the idea of whole food plant-based eating, I was full of questions. Could I still enjoy a slice of pizza on weekends? What about foods that represent my most cherished memories, like lechon on family gatherings? It felt daunting, but I only had one simple goal: to be healthier. If you're just starting to explore plant-based eating but worry about giving up your favorite foods, it's okay. I've been there. If you have chosen a fully plant-based diet for health, if you're vegan for the animals and for the environment, I admire your commitment. Your journey is inspiring. This video might have insights that you already know, and some of my ideas might not align with your convictions. Either way, you're welcome to stay. I'm here to explore a middle ground, one that celebrates progress over perfection. I want to recognize the value of a plant-predominant diet that allows for flexibility and personal choice. That being said, here are 8 reasons why you don't need to go 100% plant-based. 1. Perfection can be the enemy of good. Striving for an absolutely plant-based diet can set unrealistic expectations for a lot of people for many different reasons. It can lead to feelings of guilt or failure when that person inevitably encounters societal or personal obstacles. A black and white mindset like this can even paralyze people sometimes from making any changes at all because they fear that anything less than perfect is useless. 2. The real philosophy of whole food plant-based eating. At first, I thought I had to make a complete switch to be considered plant-based. Whole food plant-based eating, as I've eventually come to understand, isn't about rigid rules or total exclusion. Rather, it's about prioritizing plants as the core of your diet for better health and well-being. As for junk food and animal-based foods, limit or minimize, sure, but there's no pressure to eliminate them entirely from your diet. It doesn't have to be all or nothing either. Go 100% if you can, of course. If not, you can go predominantly plant-based, and that's okay. 3. There's no scientific census to suggest that a 100% plant-based diet is superior to a plant-predominant one in terms of health benefits in the long term. A plant-predominant diet that allows for occasional animal products and ultra-processed foods can be just as healthy as a strictly plant-based one, provided that the focus remains on whole, minimally processed foods. Big names in the plant-based community say the same in their books. 4. The blue zones. These are regions of the world that have the most number of healthy centenarians. Despite their reputation for health and longevity, most of them are not strictly plant-based. The diets of the blue zone population are rich in vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. They consume meat only a few times per month and in small portions. They eat it as part of celebrations or as a side dish rather than the main course. Even with this type of balance, they have lower rates of chronic diseases and have extended lifespans. The dose makes the poison. The impact of food on our health is not black and white, but rather depends on the quantity and frequency of consumption. For example, certain animal products can contribute saturated fats. They are linked to heart disease when consumed in excess, but their minimal consumption within a diet that is predominantly plant-based does not necessarily pose the same health risks. Similarly, plant-based foods can offer great health benefits, but eating too much of highly processed plant-based alternatives, which may be high in added sugars and unhealthy fats, can detract from these benefits. 6. Food is a language of love. It's a way of celebrating and building connections. Sharing meals is a vital expression of care and community. Striving for a 100% plant-based diet can, in some contexts, create barriers. Not everyone understands or agrees with this choice. Sometimes it leads to feelings of isolation or disconnection from loved ones. Now, this doesn't mean that plant-based eating isn't valuable. It absolutely is. But it's also important to recognize the huge role food plays in our lives beyond nutrition. That's where plant-predominant diet comes into play. Adopting a predominantly plant-based diet has allowed me to sit at the family table, celebrate with friends, and enjoy their company without compromise. This approach can also serve as a gentle way to introduce plant-based eating to others. I'm able to show them that cutting down on junk food and animal products isn't just doable, but it can be pretty enjoyable too. Sharing and understanding different ways of eating can make our relationships and social lives richer. 7. A plant-predominant diet can help some people avoid eating disorders. A black and white mentality that pushes for a perfect diet may contribute to stress, anxiety, and unhealthy relationships with food. Allowing occasional indulges and treats helps people maintain a focus on overall dietary patterns rather than obsessing over specific food choices. We need to be eating for nourishment, pleasure, and community rather than from a place of fear or restriction. Doing so supports a holistic view of health that includes mental and emotional well-being alongside physical health. And 8, adaptability. The health benefits of a plant-based diet emerge not from what we eat today or tomorrow, but from the cumulative effect of our food choices over time. It's always about the overall dietary pattern, not the occasional deviations. Consistency, they say. However, in order to be consistent, we need to be adaptable. Adaptability is the practical application of consistency. In theory, consistency is about being disciplined, determined, and unwavering. In practice, consistency is about being adaptable. Don't have much time? Scale it down. Don't have much energy? Do the easy version. Find different ways to show up depending on the circumstances. Let your habits change shape to meet the demands of the day. Adaptability is the way of consistency. Adaptability allows us to navigate the complexities of daily life. We are able to make adjustments as needed while keeping our long-term goals in sight. Whether it's a busy schedule that calls for a quick vegetarian meal or a family gathering where plant-based options are limited, the focus remains on the overall pattern of eating whole plant-based foods. True consistency is achieved not through perfection, but through the persistent effort to make the best choices possible day in and day out. Embracing a plant-predominant diet doesn't mean that you've reached the final destination. Our goals and eating habits are always evolving. At this point in my journey, I'm still open for change, especially as nutrition scientists will continue to discover more and more things. Personally, I set a rule for myself to be at least 90% whole food plant-based. I find that in most days, I still end up eating 100% plant-based, but in certain days and situations where I can't, or if I'm badly craving for something that's less nutritious, I don't have to feel bad or guilty about it. This is what works for me and my husband. After 1 year of consistently following this personal food rule, I put my metastatic thyroid cancer into remission. If you want to know how I do a plant-predominant diet, check this video right here. There are different kinds of plant-based diets. You can choose to do whatever one you like or make your own like I did. If you want to know more about that, watch this video. I'll see you over there and over there.